here. What's up, chat? Happy Wednesday. It's February 9th. It's 2022, and it's the last day before the NBA trade deadline. And we're going to see some movement. We're going to see some speculation. We're going to see potentially guys holding out. And we're also not that far from the All-Star break. So the league could be a nightmare to keep tabs on. But hey, that's what we do. Everyone playing from the same deck of cards. And the sun coming out and griefing my stream. I'm Gun. Twitter.com/Gundacker, joined today by the orange hoodie version of Raj. What up, Raj?
Back in the building.
Late.
Back in the building.
Late.
Hey,
chat. You notice what time it is? Raj is like, I'm gonna be late. I'll be like, yo, you haven't been on the show in like a week.
I'm like, give me 2 minutes.
Your scenes here, and he's like,
true.
He's like stuffing his face with pineapples or something, and I'm just what?
I got a date tonight. Got to get your pineapples, if you know what I'm saying. But also,
what's his name?
You got jokes.
Anyway,
you got jokes.
Anyway, so last night, Giannis Antetokounmpo decided to leave the planet Earth. Dropped 44 real points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists, with a block, 2 blocks and steals, 82 fantasy points. I was the game was in the fourth quarter, and it was like, oh, it's a blowout. I turned on the old PS5. I'm like, oh, it's a good day, man. Super profited, crushed PrizePicks, DFS, easy. Halfway through my game, I look over it, and I'm just getting steamrolled. I was like, what the freak happened? And it's just Giannis Antetokounmpo, who I didn't think would have a whole lot more minutes, got a whole lot more minutes. And it made sense. We've seen Giannis not let off the gas in prime time, especially in a statement game. So if you guys had Giannis, he outscored the next highest scorer by about 20. And the lineups, I had so many Luka lineups, Joel Embiid, I was there. But my goodness, did Giannis made the Goga lineups more likely to be optimal. You know what I mean? Like 30 fantasy points from Goga. I was trying to win the position a lot. And I thought if I had some guys that lapped Goga, like if Joel Embiid scores 60, the 30 fade doesn't seem that bad when I'm trying to win the position. But then that 30 means a lot more if it gets you that Giannis 80. So that caught up with me. What are you going to do? It'd be like that sometimes. Giannis 82, Luka 65, Joel Embiid 61, Julius Randle 58. Pretty impressive 58 from him, considering that was game 3 and 4 nights back to back, all the altitude, all that good stuff. Maybe he's trying to shop himself. Trae Young. Roger's getting swatted. Open up. Cole Anthony dropped 50. Jalen Suggs got injured pretty early in that game, and of course the Blazers being the Blazers, not great on defense. So Cole Anthony did well. De'Aaron Fox, I actually late swapped in some De'Aaron Fox in my single entries because I had some Kiefer Sykes exposure on Fanduel, and that was bleach flavored DFS. He scored like 11 fantasy points. So I was like, you know what? Let me get into De'Aaron Fox, who is probably going to garner a lot of ownership in his first game back. And he crushed it. 29 real plays, 7 boards, 6 assists. We know without Tyrese Halliburton, his use is going to be high. Heck, he had 5 turnovers as well. So if he had a few less turnovers, he could have been a cleared 50 pretty easily. The rest of the slate, pretty obvious. Lance Stevenson popped open late in the day as obscene chalk, but you had to have him. He went bananas. And the rest of the slate was pretty doggone average. I said, thank God I ain't average. The other centers I liked on FanDuel, the Yusuf Nurkic, the Jonas Valanciunas, guys like that, they were lackluster, and I didn't quite get the game from Brandon Ingram that I had hoped for.
Yeah.
So, what are you going to do?
Jackson Hayes had a good start. It just kind of died out, too.
Yeah. Pelicans' leading fantasy scorer was Brandon Ingram with 25. 26 real points, right? You expect that to be a table setter for a big game. Wasn't quite. But I tell you what it was. It was a super lucrative night for PrizePicks. And the crew in the Discord, Twitter, the guys that have been in the chat, man, they crushed it last night. So shout out to everyone. Why are the chats not showing up on screen? It doesn't make sense. Oh, that's driving me nuts. Chat, this happened in my last in the PrizePicks stream as well. So I don't know, chat box. can try to troubleshoot this live, but I'm assuming there's a disconnect somewhere between me or between Streamlabs and YouTube. But that's like the best part. How's your night go, Raj? While I feverishly try to
well, DFS wise, like double dubs was okay. No big score just because of that. Yeah, the Giannis hammer. But everyone else, other plays kind of came through. I had a random Javal McGee lineup, and he really came through. I got him at 1.4%, and so
Wow.
yeah. Honestly, it was like a random click where I needed a center. He fit. It was a handmade, and clicked him. I just got lucky. Sometimes you gotta get lucky, and it just so happened I got lucky, so I'll take that. But yeah, Brandon Ingram kind of killed the dream. There's one more guy who forget that really let me down. Ingram and Simons, right? Simons is super chalk, and he just kind of whatever.
Yeah. A lot of chalk disappointments. Yeah, I don't know why the YouTube chat isn't showing up, and I can't fix it live. So, chat, I guess we'll go with breakdown screen since there's a lot of dead space on the screen. In celebration of yesterday's massive stream, we broke a lot more records. I said on Twitter yesterday I'd give away some week passes. So let's do that. Let's give away, but let's do it like the whole stream instead of being like the last 5 minutes. Let's set oh shoot. Okay, we're good. Let's make it the whole stream. So let's set a custom timer. Let's go week pass, giveaway, edit, and I don't know. Let's literally give it like an hour and a half. I think we can do that. I think okay, 1 hour, 15 minutes. Speaking of which, Rod, you're back, so my ratings probably go down. I'm just
let's be real. I'm a ratings bonanza.
All right, an hour and a half, and then we'll set that going for the whole stream. So, hour and a half. Start it, and then exclamation point raffle, and we'll just keep that going. Maybe we'll get like 100 people in it. What's up, chat? Shout out to all you guys live. I'm sorry that the Streamlabs isn't picking up chat today. It didn't do it on the last stream. I reset it between streams. So I don't know. I can't really troubleshoot this live. So unfortunate. Maybe to clear some dead space, I'll put the PrizePicks drop over here. Cover live chat for now. But I will still keep an eye on you guys. Shout out to Mia Moore, Justin Brooks, Shaky Jakey lost 90% last night. Michael Durbin needed back tonight. I'm with that. PrizePicks was really good to offset a lot of the DFS. I'm telling you, Giannis ran me down. Giannis was 50% owned. It was bad. And that was directly correlated to Goga ownership. And then Kiefer Sykes being a handicap. What up, Skimmer? What up, Lorenza? What up, Jay Smooth? CJ, Arizona Drama. Says Drew, Monk, Booker, and Embiid didn't work out last night. Hey, Embiid was looking good. It sounded good at first. And then anytime raw points is eclipsed by 20, right? Anytime someone drops 80, they're optimal. You're going to need them. And I was underweight, to be honest, because I thought that game would blow out, and it did. But it didn't matter. What are you going to do? Danger says Diakete waived by the Thunder. Yeah, I saw they released him. A little bit of movement last stream. We got a three-way deal, I guess you could say, with the Jazz, the Thunder, or the Jazz, the Spurs. Ended up sending NAW and Juancho Hernangomez to Utah, Satoransky and a second-round pick to the Spurs, and the Blazers get the rights to Joe Ingles, Elijah Hughes, and a second-round pick. So a lot of role player movement. Nothing staggering. I still think there's going to be another big trade too. That Windhurst feller, he's really pushing for a big I don't know, James Harden trade. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. They held him out last night. Maybe they make it done. I definitely think a Ben Simmons Harden trade would really be nice, right? What up, Kiefer? Congrats on the date with the lucky guy, Raj. Yep, Arizona Drama.
Y'all got jokes. Y'all got jokes for days.
Hey man, you can't leave for a week and not come back and get roasted, bro. That's just not how it goes. All
Like
right.
I said, now I want to pay their bills with DFS like you gun. What are you gonna do?
Lorenzo shout to run DFS. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What up, dog? Ingram killed me. I hate playing him, but it was hard not to. Ingram, especially on Fanduel, right? I understand the resistance at 9K on DK. There's a big slate to lock that in, but on Fanduel, man, he was so doggone cheap. And for him to pull out like a floor game essentially, was not what you want. Your boy had a fire lineup going into the late night hammer with Suggs. No, yeah, Jalen Suggs went down. We're going to do injuries. Quinn says, my name was in the Raptors until yesterday. Let's break another record today. That would be nice. I don't know. It's kind of a slow day. So I also correlate it with how big the slate is, how popular the slate is. I don't know if today's going to be a popular slate, being a small slate. What up, Mike? Had a 353-point lineup, and the letdown was LeBron. My favorite value is Derek Favors. Okay, Renza. What's up, Tea Time? Raj, I heard your music. I have an overseas artist I want you to collab with. Send it Twitter.
Hey, let's get it. Let's go send to Twitter, get in the email. I got you. Where we linking up?
So the stream brought to you by RunDFS.com. This place where we don't just play DFS. We run DFS. If you guys want to join the premium community, go to RunDFS.com. Get behind the paywall by going to VIP memberships. A lot of built-in value to the membership. Obviously, you get some vouchers towards Fantasy Cruncher. You get access to the spreadsheets. You get access to the RunDFS.com premium Discord and the pre-lock voice chats where I'll be today before lock, chopping it up, hanging out, making some lineups, making some PrizePicks cards, and you guys would be more than welcome to jump in, join the family, and get things going. Underdog NBA, they're going to be our guiding light today. If you guys aren't following them on Twitter, what are you even doing? Why even have a Twitter and play DFS? So, shout out to J-Fan. Mama D. Diakete has been released by the Thunder. As of 3 p.m. Eastern, key news to watch. Darius Garland questionable. Rashawn Holmes to be determined. He was listed out last night with personal. Feel like they might be trying to trade him. Marvin Bagley, same thing. Bledsoe to be determined. Kevin Looney, questionable. And then just a plethora of things to watch tonight, today, and any second a bomb could drop. A Woj bomb could drop. So chat, if you see it before we do, if you hear Woj before you see it, he got hardened, and I don't know. That's so dumb. It's not a good start for my references today. I'm just gonna quit.
Definitely not.
What are you gonna do? Hater also says, what's today's lock washer? That's the other Raj from Saturday used that term. And I still
lock washer.
It's like this apparently it's like an older term to describe. I don't know. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll tweet gun my email and info. All right. What up, Vincent Jefferson? Another one. By the way, chat, I don't know. Here, let's see. What is it? Exclamation point raffle. Exclamation point raffle to be entered into a drawing to win RunDFS.com week pass. We'll do that. And then if every now and then you guys start seeing viewerships go up or down, I don't know, maybe, I don't know if she's awake. Is she awake? No, she's not. If somebody in chat could just like post that periodically, that'd be lit. Let's talk some basketball. Let's get started. Game number 1, San Antonio Spurs at the Cleveland Cavaliers. Project 75 for the Spurs. DeJounte Murray, Derek White, Dougie McBuckets, Keldon Johnson, Jakob Poeltl. Am I not Poeltl enough for the Poeltl Club? Up against maybe Darius Garland, Karis LeVert, Isaac Okoro, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen. We got 216.5 total with a 5.5 point spread in favor of the home team, Cleveland Cavaliers. So some lingering news on the Cavs situation here. Obviously, Darius Garland is questionable, and then Karis LeVert should play, make his debut here make his debut for the Cavs. But Darius Garland is the big one here. If Garland can't go, I'm not quite sure what to expect from the Cavs in that split. It would be asking a lot for LeVert to come in and have that chemistry, but basketball is a universal language, right? So maybe it wouldn't be that hard of a transition. Do we have actual? I know Sabonis was like not listed on the right team yet. We have actual correct listings here. So if LeVert could go, he's 8,700 on FanDuel, 9K on DraftKings. I would assume that if he's sharing the court with Garland, if Garland is back, it's really hard to love him at this price point. Like, this is a price point for LeVert that was getting him fringe results on a team that had no defense, had no chemistry, and wasn't as slow paced and spread out. So I think this price point's a little hard to trust LeVert at. I think Darius Garland's price point, if he was unrestricted, has a little bit of meat left on the bone, and no matter what, I expect his assist rate to be pretty sky high. So I'm interested in that. The Spurs side of the basketball, pretty clean sheet when it comes to injury news and notes, and the price points are pretty appropriate individually, right? DeJounte Murray has 50 fantasy point potential, but he's priced for it, 10.6K on both sites. Derek White, 6K. These are price points that I don't feel like I'm getting a big edge at anything in particular, and I definitely don't love paying almost 8K on FanDuel for Jakob Poeltl, 7,500 for him on DK against the Cavs defense that is strong everywhere, but has a really solid interior defense with guys like Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. So I don't have any warmer fuzzies on the Spurs side, and I think the Cavs side would just be contingent on news. The Spurs have been struggling at defending points in the paint, so maybe you can make a case for Jared Allen, but at this juncture, this front court is full of 3-7K guys, and each one of them has a case to cannibalize each other. Kevin Love should not be forgotten. Dark horse for sixth man of the year. So I think ultimately this game doesn't look that appealing to me. And the only thing that I'm kind of putting in my back pocket is if Garland can play and he's not restricted, I think his price point has a little meat on the bone. And then, maybe DeJounte Murray, just because he has the propensity of being one of the highest scorers on the slate. But for these prices, right, 10.6K, you look ahead in that Bulls game, 10.6K would be more expensive than any Bulls player in that game against Charlotte, and the same against Charlotte. And that game environment just feels so much better. It has a 20 point higher implied total, and just more lucrative check boxes being marked off, a faster pace, lower defense. So I think this is the game I'm going to be pretty down on. His first game at lock, and then we're sitting around for 30 minutes. Raj, do you have any hot takes here? Can you get to this game at any level of confidence? Chat, anything I'm sleeping on Cavs and Spurs? I feel like it's pretty news contingent.
Yeah, I think we definitely got to wait for the news in the spot for this game. Cavs, I'm going to expect to be one of the best defensive teams in the league. If Garland plays too, I think that's a boost for their defense. They still have Mobley, Jared Allen, they're controlling the paint. Everyone's kind of priced accordingly here. San Antonio is a team that does play in a lot of kind of high scoring games. So if a guy like Garland plays and LeVert sits, I don't mind a little Garland at 8-4. I think he has some upside there. Kevin Love at 71. He's been playing great. Past 4 games, 40, 45, 40, 40. So you definitely want 40 at that price. Does he have 50-point upside if he sees a couple extra minutes, maybe at 7,100? So I don't hate that. But other than that, not really running to play anyone in this game.
Yeah, I think it's certainly a game that if I get to some exposure here, it's going to be some tier 3 levels and not much else. So that's where I'm on that. Chat, we are at 6,398 subscribers. 2 more, and we get to 6,400, and then we are 40% of the way towards 7K. So the hunt is on. 7K, you out there? I'm coming for you. Getting caught up on chat here. J. Cole says, it might be my last night on DraftKings. PrizePicks is too fruitful night in, night out. PrizePicks is definitely simplifying the process, and it's been pretty fun and rewarding. But I can't leave my first love, right? PrizePicks, Fanduel, Yahoo. But yeah, I'm with you. PrizePicks definitely a lot easier to maintain. How many Hornets is too many? Same with Bulls, right? I think that game is just loaded up and go there. Doug says love for 6th man of the year. I like that gun. Hadn't thought about that before. He deserves it. But he's been playing. Yeah, they got Tyler Hero at like negative money right now to win it. But Kevin Love is like my vote, right? He's been a true 6th man, right? He's not getting starter. Not like Hero's had a few shots this year with like without Lowry, without Butler, blah blah blah, and he's getting those starter minutes off the bench, 38 minutes. But I think from a true 6th man perspective, I think Kevin Love has just been I think he embodies what that award means, right? There's most of the NBA awards are so skewed, but without context. Like most improved players, really just a guy that gets more minutes and more usage this year than he did last year. Not really improving anything, right? It's just evolving. And then sixth man of the year has been such a couple of horse race in the last couple of years that it gets decided so early. And I think Kevin Love is like the true sixth man of the year so far for this team. Whiteside got a good record versus the Warriors. Might be interesting. Yahoo's been my go-to. Still playing DFS. I need a VPN, so I go Fanduel with it. Wait, where can you play Yahoo that you can't play Fanduel? What's
interesting?
I thought Yahoo had more restrictions in terms of state exposure than Fanduel did, but I don't know. Chicago Bulls at the Charlotte Hornets. So this is the game of the night. I think this will be soaking up a lot of this slate ownership. Obviously, there potentially is going to be some value spots opening up, as news progresses and stuff like that. But from just a everything you could want in a game, Bulls short staffed, Charlotte Hornets short staffed, tight rotations, really high total. Should be the honey hole that a lot of people start their single entry and cash game lineups with. And I got no quarrels, I got no pushbacks. When we get different, we'll get different. But I think everything in this game looks good on the surface. And maybe we drive some wedges and set some correlations. The Bulls project the starting five: Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Javonte Green, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic taking on LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Kelly Oubre, Miles Bridges, and Mason Plumlee. Got 236.5 total, 2-point spread in favor of the visiting Chicago Bulls. They are down a bunch of guards. No Lonzo Ball, no Alex Caruso, and Ayo Dosunmu now joins the out list for the guard rotation here. So I think we can really slap a big minute projection on Kobe White, on Zach LaVine, and we already have seen DeRozan and Vooch play big minutes. DeRozan, of course, liable to lead the team in minutes. So there's a lot to like here. And on the inverse, let's go home. Let's go. Wait, I changed that. What is happening? I definitely changed that this morning. Maybe that's what's happening. I don't know.
Can't miss content right here. Hit the like.
I appreciate that. You made it happen. This morning, I definitely edited the Bing Bong file and changed it. So I'm thinking that might have something to do with why the chat's not up. Maybe I did it on a different account. I don't know. I appreciate that. You made it happen. Shout out to you. You made it happen last night, cleaning up the PrizePicks streets. So let's talk about the Bulls, what they're missing, what they're lacking. Lonzo Ball, Alex Caruso, notable defenders in their own right. But Ayo Dosunmu had been rising in the ranks of on-ball defender respect, and we've seen that in the chat. We've discussed that a few times. So I don't think that's just like a insignificant absence as it is. Obviously, it benefits us for minute projections and maybe spreading out a little extra usage. That's a little less defense for that backcourt going against a super efficient Charlotte Hornets offense. And on the Hornets side, they are without Gordon Hayward here. No Martin, no McDaniels. So I got a lot of big minutes on them as well. And if we look back at that last game, Hornets essentially just went to Oubre and PJ Washington. And Oubre's live to start here. He started second half of that last game without Gordon Hayward. So I think that there's a lot of 2v2, 3v3 in lineups from this game here. Obviously, there's a range of outcome where one of the big three of the Chicago Bulls aren't going to get there, so maybe you just start setting some rules, so no more than two of these three, blah, blah, blah. Same with the Hornets. Rozier, Oubre, Miles Bridges, good luck. But the logistical or logic says that there's going to be spike games here if this game lives up to this total. So I think getting this game right is the key. I think it's easier said than done, but I think multiple lineup managers like myself will be able to play the ranges of outcomes. So let's start with the Bulls side here. Zach LaVine, AK on FanDuel, just ridiculously too cheap, like disrespectfully too cheap. In this matchup, I expect him to be up there with DeRozan in minutes, maybe a little bit more ball handling, and DeRozan's just been on another planet. 10.5K. Don't think many of us pegged DeRozan to be one of the highest priced players in the league in February when that trade happened. But they are all live to be incredible fantasy point plays. I'm getting big numbers for everyone. Like I said, with Levine being close to 50, with DeRozan being 50, and with Vooch being 50, logistically they're not all gonna get to 50. So I probably say no more than 2 of these 3 and work from there. But Kobe White at 4,500 on FanDuel, yeah, I'll play that. And we talked about the merit in Kobe White's 3-point prop on PrizePicks. I think it's at 2.5. The Charlotte Hornets, we look at points via the 3-ball. They're up there. I think they might allow the most in the league, and it makes a lot of sense for the pace that they're running. So it's not like a funnel situation. It's just they add so many more possessions, and the team being so 3 points, or teams being so 3-centric this in this age. They just take more shots. 14.1 3-pointers per game allowed, right behind the Milwaukee Bucks. So Kobe White, most of his shots are going to be 3 balls. Zach LaVine joined the 3-point contest, so he might be trying to exercise that as well. Both those guys look live for real points, but I didn't hate that Kobe White 2.5, 3 over. And then Vooch leads the trio in points per minute from a fantasy perspective, so he's right there in the mix. The Hornets side, I mentioned, only PJ Washington is a guy I got jotted down for significant minutes off the bench. There's a couple of variations of this lineup they might roll out, but I think what you see is what you get. This starting 5 is gonna pick up the bulk, and then Plumlee might be a little bit fringe in terms of what his minutes might be. He could play 26, he could play 30, but usually not going to clear 30 by a lot. Raj, do you have any leans on how we start podium exposure in this game? And I think that's how I'm going to approach it. I know I'm going to want everyone from both teams. I'm going to want everyone, but I'm just going to have to rank them from guys I want the most of, guys I want the least of, and twist it from there. Hawaldai, appreciate that sub. Where do you start in this game, Raj? And don't repeat everything I just said.
Yeah, I mean, so the position you want to attack the Chicago Bulls is definitely power forward. So I think if it's Bridges, maybe Washington gets some power forward run. I think those 2 guys are names that I'm really looking at just because every single forward, like, I mean, even Jay Crowder was having big games against. So no matter who it is, forwards have been killing Chicago. So Bridges, PJ Washington, I like that. And then I think Oubre, just because of a price point, whether he starts, whether he comes off the bench, I really like him in this spot. I probably expect this game to be the highest scoring game of the slate. So I like him. And the Chicago side, I think if I'm going to rank the big 3 of them, I'm probably going DeRozan 1. And then I might go Vooch 2 because center should, big killing Charlotte. Levine. So probably Vooch 2 and Levine 3.
You got Levine 3? Okay.
I think I have Vooch over Levine. Yeah, I don't think that's crazy.
I mean, I don't think it's crazy either, but I don't think it's crazy like any which way you rank that. But I think I don't know. I guess I'm looking at with the Fanduel eyeballs. Levine at 8K is just ridiculous.
That price tag is cheap. Yeah.
Hornets, how do we rank that? I'm thinking LaMelo Ball 1. So as I mentioned, the Bulls are down defensively when it comes to guards. DeSumo was really good defensively. Caruso, Lonzo Ball. So I think it opens up the matchup a little bit more here. And LaMelo Ball is really cheap on both sides, under 9K. I have him leading the team in fantasy points, about a 50 fantasy point projection on both sides. I mean, that's where I start on the Hornets. I think Rozier and Oubre have similar styles and similar needs to hit a ceiling. But at these price points, Oubre essentially interchanges with Hayward at 5,600, right? Hayward was in the 5Ks and ended up being freaking 30-40% owned just because the price point and having exposure to 35 minutes of this game, too cheap. So I think Oubre is going to end up being chalk just because of his price. But where do you rank the Hornets? Is LaMelo Ball number 1 for you?
See, I think I might like Bridges more than LaMelo. I see Bridges a lot of the
I'm sorry, you cut out. But I thought I was hearing the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Could you repeat that? You cut out.
No, I think Miles Bridges.
You said Miles Bridges over LaMelo.
If he plays 4 here,
Raj, what are we doing?
I'm saying if Miles gets some minutes at the 4, I don't think that's crazy at all. Watch him get like a 60 bomb. I'm gonna message you again. You're gonna feel dumb again.
No,
I mean, exactly. So why not Bridges?
Him scoring 60 is definitely not outlandish, but over LaMelo, that seems really aggressive. Like that, it's dumb. I'm sorry, it's dumb. It's dumb. What do you mean?
So. I think we've seen LaMelo have some floor games where Terry Rozier gets a lot of the assists, or the other guys take scores. So LaMelo Ball has a floor here of like 25 fantasy points. So does Bridges, but I don't think LaMelo is much of a lock as you think.
I think he is. I think the last 3 games for LaMelo, or last 4 games, think about this defensive matchup. Toronto, Miami, Cleveland, Boston. That's ridiculous. That's a tough stretch.
That's a tough stretch. All those teams are elite defensively, especially when they're fully healthy.
And these are games where the teams are scoring 100, 107. They're implied for 115, 117 here today. The Bulls backcourt's depleted. I'm heavy LaMelo here. I'm glad that he got a reduction in price because of that stretch. But I'm not gonna forget the matchups.
LaMelo's my number 2.
Nah. Don't backstab now, young blood. No.
It's not like a huge gap. I still think Bridges number 1, just because we've seen Chicago get destroyed by the 4 all season.
Wait, you want some action on that?
Well, wait, LaMelo's 1,000 more expensive.
What do you want? I'll give you points. What do you want?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we'll do.
So 1,000 represents 5-6 points, right? I'll give you 5.5. 5.5.
Yeah.
I'll give you Miles Bridges plus 5.5. 5.5. Miles Bridges plus 5.5.
Okay. Miles Bridges 5.5.
20 American. Right?
You know what? Let's make it 50 American.
50 American on Miles Bridges. 5.5. 50 American. All right, cool. 50 American on Miles Bridges.
With it.
Plus 5.5. DK or Fanduel?
DK.
Okay. So 50 American dollars. So I'll take LaMelo minus 5.5 DKP. There we go. All right. Locked it, Chad. Now we're So by the way, Karis LeVert was just reported as available to make his debut tonight. Kind of what we expected. Lorenzo said, love the Bridges call. I don't hate Bridges. I just think that the ranking Bridges aggressively over Melo is whatever. Nova says, I thought Gunn muted Raj on purpose. Nah, sometimes, but I wouldn't mute him. He was legitimately cutting out. I was just there. Melo liable to get in foul trouble in the first quarter. Maybe. Bridges is consistent. I mean, I like Bridges over Ball in a few lineups. Yeah. I'm going to have a Bridges exposure. I'm just trying to have some fun here.
Would it?
How are you going to win 100K if everyone has the same takes?
No doubt.
It's not going to do it. I wish I had Raj's reaction yesterday. He's like, "Oh, you got Lance Stevenson in the VIP. I like it." No, I was like, he's like the highest owned player on the slate. He goes, "Oh,
I jumped in the slate late. With fixing off some work, so I was like, okay. I thought it'd be low on, but clearly not.
Yeah. J. Cole said, "Hayes Gunn is the fantasy country credit thing a one time." No, it's anytime you get a sub, and I think they stack within a certain time period. So if you got like a couple week passes within like a month, I believe that would add up. So, but no, it's not a one-time thing. So if you get a month pass and you get a $20 credit, and then next month you get another month pass, well, it's another $20 credit. So it's definitely not a one-time thing. I'll go Oubre. You like that? What about Rondo sleeper? I would not consider Rondo unless Garland was out. Getting that news that LeVert's available to play, I mean, that's a wild card. We don't quite know what they would do, right? Even if Garland's out, you might see LeVert just run a little bit. Obviously, got to build some chemistry, and it's what it is. But like I said, basketball's a universal language. Pick and rolls, these are all basic plays. So I would not really think about Rondo unless Garland was out, and even then, it wouldn't be a deep thought. Goodwin, of course, had his coming back to earth lately, but they have Goodwin, Rondo, Jetty Osma, all guys and Karis LeVert that looks like he's probable. There's enough cannibalization there that for 4,200 on Rondo, we'd probably be looking at maybe like a Blazers value guy like we saw last night. Greg Brown was like a good value play last night. Not that I'm saying specifically go get Greg Brown, but I feel like there's going to be a couple of spots that feel a little bit more warm and fuzzy when it comes to some value here, right? Let me keep doing this. Chat, we're doing a couple week passes, celebrating yesterday's record-breaking stream. So as more people come and go, ! Raffle. Single entry, 3 max night, or MME slates is just in sport. So it depends on your thoughts on this Hornets Bulls game for me. I think if you look at this Bulls and Hornets game, it seems very, very likely that a variation of this game stack would be a strong core, and the probability of a game stack here being optimal would be high. Then I think 10 to 20 lineups might accomplish that, right? Like, obviously, you can't run 4 versus 4 and expect pure ceilings unless it's like overtime. So if you get enough combos of DeRozan and Vooch, and then Levine and DeRozan, Levine and Vooch, and you know what I mean? And the same with the Hornets. Rozier could spike, Oubre could spike, Bridges could spike. Very rarely going to see them all coincide for optimal ceiling games. So if you like this game and you just want to spin the wheel on it, I think 10, 20 lineups could maybe get the job done. It certainly feels like the right game to be at, and I'm curious to see where the ownership lands on the field. Right. Arizona Drama says better check Bridges pass game versus the Bulls. He doesn't do good. Better options. I wouldn't get too attached to that. I do think Bridges is live to play 38, 40 minutes. I don't hate Bridges as a play. I'm just trying to get some action from Raj, and two, I'm also trying to appreciate, one, that LaMelo Ball's last 5 games have been really tough defensive matchups, and this game against the Bulls is a better matchup than perceived because of the Sumu going down. So I do think LaMelo Ball's usage rate, the numbers back up LaMelo Ball to have the 25-26% usage rate in this split, which will lead the team. So for me, it's a surefire spot where I like LaMelo Ball to be the best play on the team, right? Better to Rondo. All right, let's move on to the next game here. Oklahoma City Thunder hosting the Toronto Raptors. Raptors project starting 5: Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam taking on Josh Giddey, Trey Mann, Lou Dort, Darius Baisley, Derek Favors. We got a 204.5 total, a 10-point spread in favor of the visiting Toronto Raptors. The 10-point spread is enough to raise some eyebrows and make you wonder on a short slate, is this going to be too risky? But at the same time, the Raptors have such a tight rotation. You wonder, what the spread has to be for Nick Nurse to let off the gas here and introduce some more Banton and Watanabe and guys like that. Chris Boucher and Precious Achiuwa seem somewhat involved in the rotation, but for the most part, if the game's neutral, we have not seen Nurse get too creative and go to his bench. I've got all the starters starting at about 37 minutes and going from there. The Thunder side, life with SGA continues. No Mike Muscala here. Jeremiah Robinson Earl listed as out. Isaiah Roby listed as out. And they just released Diakite, who I initially had for 18 minutes tonight. I guess Alexei Pokusevski's going to have to get some run here. I know they sent him down to the G League the other day. I don't know if they've recalled him or if releasing Diakite was a prelude to a trade that might be in the works here, right? And the Thunder don't seem like a team that are here to pick up bodies, but rather pick up draft picks. So I don't know. But this front court rotation from this far out feels like it's going to be all the minutes you can get out of Darius Baisley. Hopefully it stays neutral. Same for Lou Dort. And then, I also got Giddey and Trey Mann for big minutes. So not a game that's going to be that appealing. I think it's going to be super down in pace. The Raptors run a pretty low pace, help them maintain the tread on the tires for as many minutes as they play. They play a bottom 6 pace on the season. OKC league average to down, and then this total 204.5. So the Raptors, as expected, getting a little better defensively, and I thought that their bodies, when healthy, certainly bode as a strong defensive unit. Raptors have been about league average, but I think I don't know if we tighten this up to like the last month. Toronto Raptors defensive rating. Let's go last 10 games, right? 10 games for the Raptors defensive rating, 111. That's actually not great. I don't know. I felt like they were clamping teams up a little bit more, but it's not. It's like not the worst. So it's about consistent with their season. And then if we run that same search on the Thunder defensive rating last 10 games for the Thunder, 108. So the Thunder have actually statistically been playing better defense than the Raptors lately, and we've seen Lou Dort and be a big part of that. So I guess the question here is, chat, you guys chime in. Raj, does this game stay competitive within 20 long enough to get full minutes out of the Raptors. Are the Raptors worth going after at these price points? Usually this is a team I got for the most minutes on the slate, but I don't have that stark of a contrast in minutes from looking at the Bulls and looking at the Hornets. And that game is implied for 32 more points and more possessions. I feel like I'll sprinkle some of this game in here, but what about you? Where's your comfort level? Where's your happy place in Raptors and Thunder?
Yeah, it's in the Raptors definitely blow out the Thunder by 20, 25 points here. So I don't see him getting a lot of fourth quarter run. Probably pull the starters with, I'd say 8 to 6 minutes left in the fourth. So if I want to put a minutes projection on these Raptors, I might cap them at 30, 32.
I think we got to put one. We got to respect the Thunder. I really think it's easy to dismiss this team. But they beat Dallas. Luka was there. I know Porzingis was down. They beat Dallas. They beat Portland, whatever. But Portland didn't have McCollum and Nurkic. So it's like, you look at this team, this should be worse than McCollum. And then they hung in there with Golden State, right? They didn't. It wasn't within 10, but it was within 12, within 20. I'm just saying, with this pace being what it is, and with the Thunder defense being what it has been, like, I don't know that this game gets out of control that fast, because it's not like it's a track meet like yesterday where the Celtics went up 20-2 on the Nets. The Thunder have been scrappy, man. So I don't know if I want to write them off and make it a surefire thing that they get smoked. I think they could lose by 10, 10 plus, but I at least want to give some respect to them hanging in there lately, and it's not against nobodies, right? Luka and the Warriors, they're out there scrapping. So if it's going to be a slower and pace game, I don't think the scoreboard adds up that quickly. But I don't know. Just want to put that up there. But continue.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna have any faith in OKC. I think a healthy Raptors team is dangerous. Definitely gonna be a contender in the East. But so the Raptors, I guess Gary Trent at his price, always viable, get the shots up. The Raptors I'm most worried about and really debating on is Siakam and VanVleet, just because their price tags, needing 50 fantasy points on the slate to be relevant in tournaments. Could they get there in 3.5 quarters? I definitely see one of them get there. I'm probably leading Siakam over VanVleet in the spot. But again, with these other studs on the slate, and you mentioned the Charlotte Chicago game where it'll be ultra competitive, it's a tough spot. But if you do think OKC kind of keeps it competitive and can keep it close, I think if you want to play 2 or 3 Raptors in the lineup, you're probably going to want to play some Lou Dort and Giddey, as they're the guys who are going to really kind of keep this game close. Dort coming off of 46, 37, 37. The Raptors would be his toughest matchup, but he's going to have the usage. He's going to play the minutes. He dropped 37 on him last time, so 6,200 on DK. I think that's viable. Giddey at 7,600. He definitely has it.
Before you get too deep into Giddey love, they said after last game that they expected to keep Giddey around 30 minutes a game. So it's not necessarily like a clamp down minutes restriction, but if it's going to be closer to 30 minutes a game, 7.6K in this particular matchup doesn't scream extraordinary value. I know something to keep an eye on. I mean, in 30 minutes, he dropped 40 fantasy points against Golden State. So it's not outlandish, but it certainly feels like it's putting on the glass ceiling if you believe in the limit.
I think I do. Maybe they just want to limit him, given the All-Star break, and they come back and he could
also they don't want to win, right?
That's true. They also want to win, get some good draft picks. Yeah, so at 7,600, he's probably off the table, just like you said, the capped upside with the minutes restriction. But I think Lou Dort does have some room on the bone there. Even if they get blown out, I could see him getting there 35 to 40 fantasy points. Other than that, on the OKC side, I'm probably not getting to a guy like Baisley, who's been getting minutes, but he's priced up at 5,600 now. Not a comfortable clip. Diakite, he's a guy who I think at 3,800.
Gotcha. You're killing me, man. Pay attention. Jesus. He literally got released earlier. We said it twice already.
Not
right,
continue. He got released. Not playing him. I get Derek Favors at minutes 3,300. He's a value play, but not a comfortable click by any means.
Yeah, we're not playing Derek Favors today. All right, chat, if you guys are out there, wait, why is it not recording? Yo, let me see. Why is it not tracking
not tracked.
I might not be logged into. Let's see the YouTube version here. Usually it'll award these raffles. Anyway, I think Lou Dort and Darius Baisley stand out to me as guys I think are in line to play some bigger minutes. Baisley is not a comfortable spot because I don't love the matchup by any stretch of the imagination. However, minutes equal money, 5,600 is cheap enough to kind of spin the wheel and make a deal on that. But the bulk of my interest is going to be on the Raptor side. Van Vliet and Siakam 1 and 2 for me. I think this should do it on Cloudbot. Let's see, giveaways. Maybe Streamlabs is just busted today, chat. I don't know. Let's see. Close. Resume. Yeah, nothing's recording. So chat, we'll probably just like draw names or something. What up, Blue Deuce? You doing all right? Appreciate that. Raj is surely, yeah. Azubiki won me some money last night. Might go back. Yeah, him and Whiteside have been splitting. It looks like they consider Whiteside more of a liability than Azubiki. So there we go. I think it's working. Hey, chat, someone hit raffle and see if it works. Yeah, I think Rondo's just like, Willie with the Rondo. Every time I look over, I see Rondo's name for some reason. Gonna see like I had to man. I moved the office and we have a window here and this light keeps bleeding in here, right? Raffle. I guess it's not registering. I think Streamlabs might just be busted, chat. Man, how do we do this? How about this, chat? You guys on Twitter? How do we do it? I don't know, man. Twitter giveaway.
How about you just scroll on the chat, randomly stop in a place, and just say a name.
Twitter picker free giveaway.
I mean, same thing, same concept.
I might make it a Twitter thing. Let me see. There's a thing. I hate, like, I feel extra pressure trying to figure this out live, but let's see. Profile must have. All right. So how about this, chat? I want it to be random, and I don't want it to be like anything else. So let me add this Twitter picker thing going, and let's save it. Let's put it over here. Load tweet. This tweet must have at least 10 retweets to select a winner. Oh, okay. So let's do this. If you guys follow me on Twitter, if you retweet the tweet about this stream, if it gets over 10 retweets, we'll do the week pass giveaways on that. So go to twitter.com. We'll put the here. Sorry, chat. I don't know. Streamlabs is busted right now. Usually it takes care of all the problems for me, right? So retweet that tweet, and then this thing will hopefully choose a winner. If it doesn't, then I'll choose a winner. We'll just give it away manually. But anyway, let's move on to the next game here. Little difficulty here. Stream Lakers hosting the Blazers. Let me close this out for now. I don't know, chat. Lakers at the Blazers. Projects 35 for the Lakers. Russell Westbrook, Malik Monk, LeBron James, Stanley Johnson, Anthony Davis taking on Anthony Simons, Ben McLemore, CJ Ellaby, Justice Winslow, and Yusuf Nurkic. Lakers, night 2 of a back-to-back. Got beat up by the Bucks last night, and I don't know if any of you guys caught the saga that developed early on and after the game. Early in the game, about the third quarter, Russell Westbrook had a possession where he had back-to-back turnovers and got booed again by the Lakers crowd. He got booed against the Knicks when Malik Monk found him open at the top of the perimeter, and he had somewhat of an open three, and the crowd was just like, no, don't shoot it, no. Like, it was audible. And then yesterday he got booed again. And then down the stretch, Frank Vogel did not include Westbrook in the closing lineup. AD, LeBron were there. And then in the final seconds of the game, you guys may have seen it. There's a clip of Westbrook talking to them on the bench. Looked like he was giving them words. And Westbrook said that what he told them is that he wished he could help them, but he's not in the game to help them. After the game, when it came to post-game press conference, a reporter had asked Westbrook, what does he think he has to do to be included into the closing lineup? And Westbrook said that he doesn't have to do anything. He earned the right to be in that role in the closing lineup. Meanwhile, LeBron James openly admitted the question was, can the Lakers compete with the Bucks? And LeBron says no, the Lakers cannot compete with the Bucks. We're not on that level. Essentially indicated that this team can't compete with the Bucks. And then Vogel said that they would do anything that they could do to make the Lakers better. It's, if you're reading between the drama, the tea leaves, it really feels like the Lakers want to make something happen in terms of trading Russell Westbrook. But at worst, if you can't move that contract, which is going to be a tough task no matter what, at worst, it certainly feels like Westbrook is passive aggressively being in a war with Vogel right now. So I don't know what to expect from the Lakers here. I know we're getting some reduced prices, especially on Westbrook on the Fanduel on the forefront. And then the Blazers team is completely stripped down skeleton crew. And I don't know, the Lakers 9.5-point favorites after the last 2 games is saying something. So the Blazers should be a free dub. Let's go home. Let's go home. See, I did the bing bong too. What a disaster. But not really. Abel.
Big Gun Money won the high five last night on DK.
Let's go. Won the high
Let's
five.
get it.
Attaboy, Abel. So anyway, I say all that to say this. The Lakers are an absolute mess. And as the 0 hour approaches on the trade deadline, certainly a lot of eyes on the Lakers to see if they can make something happen.
And it looked like Russell Westbrook was a good buy. The way he was looking on the bench and like before he said what he said to LeBron and AD, it seemed like a good buy.
It's not that simple, right? His contract is such a way down, and they are limited in assets to make the move that a team would really have to, 1, value Westbrook, or 2, feel like they're getting a good deal. And I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens, because it certainly feels like if nothing happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Definition of insanity. LeBron James openly admitting that team can't compete.
Never heard that before. Yeah.
I mean, he verbatim said, "Is that what you want me to say?" Because that's what I said. And
100%.
So Lakers, like, if nothing else, the Lakers have to make a move. Even if it ain't shipping Westbrook, they gotta do something different. Anyway, but this game, just from a daily sample size, they should be able to beat the Blazers with the lineup that they have. It is a back-to-back. Maybe they surprise us with some late rest today, but for the most part, the Lakers should beat up the Blazers. We got LeBron James at 10.8K on both sites. We got AD at 11.2 on FanDuel, 10.1K on DraftKings. I'm getting a 50-point fantasy projection on both LBJ and AD. Malik Monk, I'm getting over 30 fantasy points on that. And then Westbrook, he's always going to project well. I don't need to think about him on DK, but FanDuel at 7,600. I don't know if he's involved. That's a low price point considering the Blazers are completely stripped down. The Blazers yesterday traded CJ McCollum. Josh Hart was at the Pelicans game last night, so I don't know how likely it is he's available the next day. NAW was part of that trade. He's not even on the team anymore. Saturansky's not on the team anymore. So I would expect this Blazers team to still be pretty short-staffed, and we still get a pretty low price point overall on some of these guys individually, and we don't necessarily have to worry about the blowout as much as maybe we would, if they weren't 9 deep. Yesterday, if we pull up the the rotation for the Blazers last night against the Magic, yesterday we saw Ellaby play 34 minutes. Anthony Simons played 37 minutes, Justice Winslow 32, 34 minutes on Nurkic, 31 minutes on McLemore, and then Greg Brown off the bench, 18 minutes, made the most of that. So I'd expect like more of the same here, and the Lakers have been bad enough that it wouldn't stun me if Simons and Nurkic and
the Lakers lose today. Nah,
I'm not saying it wouldn't stun me that they it would stun me if they lose this game, but I'm saying it wouldn't stun me if the Blazers hung around and got 4 quarters out of everyone. I don't know, Raj. I just went on like a whole thing. What are you doing with this game? Speculation is speculation, but just from a DFS standpoint, Simon's usage rate is going to be pretty high. You expect him to pick up the bulk of the scoring. I think Justice Winslow looks really intriguing yesterday. It was hard to trust him, but he was pretty trendy, and he got there. Didn't really move in price, and then Nurkic, the same song and dance. I feel like he might ultimately be expendable at the end of the night, but there's still a big spot for minutes on the Blazers, short rotation at best. What are you doing with this game as part of our 2 late night hammer opportunities?
Yeah, I think we have 3 late night hammer opportunities, right? 3 games late night.
Right.
But
Okay.
just Winslow at 4,500,
So
he might be.
so let me stop you right there. LeBron James, Russell Westbrook have been downgraded to game time decisions.
Hello.
And Bledsoe's been rolled out for the Blazers. So continue.
Game time decision for So first up I think it's a great bounce back spot for Simons here. Kind of let us down there yesterday. Got you 35 DKPs at 7K. I think this could be a spot where you get you that 50-point upside game the way the Lakers have been playing. So I don't hate that. Winslow might be my favorite play under 5K. It's just I think he plays the minutes regardless of a blowout or the close game. With that short rotation and being a young guy. So I like Winslow here to play 30-35 minutes at 4,500. Take that all day, every day. Nurkic is intriguing at 8-2. Dropped 40 last game against Orlando. Obviously, a tougher matchup against Anthony Davis here, but I can see him dropping 40 plus again at 8,200. I think he's fine. So, I mean, stacking his team, I think with the way they're priced and the way the rotation is right now with that trade and guys still not available, I think it's perfectly fine. When it comes to the Lakers, I mean, obviously the slate just completely changes if James and Westbrook both sit. A guy like, Anthony Davis, are you just forced to play him at 10-1?
Yes, you are.
You
are.
Yeah, you are. I can see the Lakers getting rolled.
Stop
I don't know.
Stop it.
Without LeBron or without Westbrook, I think this Portland team might be better.
No, Malik Monk and Anthony Davis will beat this Blazers team. Stop it.
Against Simons, Nurkic.
Bro,
I know Anthony Davis is obviously better than Nurkic, but you can make a case Simons is better than Malik Monk. I think it's a lot closer than you think without no LeBron or Westbrook.
I just don't think the Blazers the temperature in the room in the Blazers locker room is we're a bunch of losers. They're blowing us up. Simons or Nurkic aren't guaranteed to be on that team tomorrow.
So. The Lakers room is we're a bunch of losers right now too, especially without LeBron.
All right, I don't know. I don't like getting in the narrative side of this.
I know what you mean.
But I would still expect Malik Monk and Anthony Davis to be favorited over
for sure
this Blazers team. Justice Winslow, 4,300 on Fanduel, 4,500 on DK, pushing 30 fantasy points. That's a projection here. I'm fine with that. But yeah, this LeBron news, this Russell Westbrook news certainly would shake things up. Dwight Howard didn't play last night with the back injury. Carmelo Anthony is still listed as out, and they said they don't expect Kendrick Nunn to play anytime soon. So just speculating what they would do. Immediately, if I thought Westbrook was out, I would fully expect LeBron James to run the point. But if LeBron is out, that whole situation gets a little bit more murky. We can look at some of the closing lineups last night, where it went Monk, AD, LeBron James, Stanley Johnson, and THT, and Austin Reeves. So maybe Austin Reeves could pick up some true point guard responsibility tonight. He comes in at 3,600 on FanDuel, 3,400 on DK, and that's coming off a game where he played 20 minutes, a little bit of an early rotation. And, I guess THT and Malik Monk wouldn't not be able to handle some facilitation duties, but I think Austin Reeves might be the biggest beneficiary in terms of true point guard production. So definitely a lot to keep tabs on here on the Lakers side. Interesting midday news there on especially Westbrook. Westbrook wasn't injured, and last night there was not. You know what I mean? That's tied to something.
Trade is coming.
That's tied to something.
With John Wall at?
LeBron on a back-to-back, I get. Westbrook, there's something behind that.
I want to see what John Wall does. We're going to see a tweet coming out.
It missed me with that John Wall crap. John Wall is not exponentially better than that doesn't make the situation better. Anyway, just dismantle the entire Lakers franchise already. Man, I don't know. It's so weird. Like these names, it's just not getting it done. But it was never built for 2022 type of basketball, right? You gotta be able to run and gun and chuck threes. Lakers missed out on the three part. I know it's funny to meme Westbrook and his three ball, but how about Anthony Davis, Mr. I don't want to play center? He's shooting like 17% from three or something like that, right? So it's while Westbrook is probably the biggest issue because your on ball guy needs to just pick up the load. they're just not set up for success anywhere. Like Malik Monk can't be it, you know. So they just need shooters. LeBron and Westbrook questionable. Jared Allen over 11.5 rebounds on PrizePicks. That's tight. It's tight. I probably am staying away from the front court there. This LeBron making his move to get Dame after Dame told him to do something. Terrence, I saw that clip. I don't know how long ago that was. It looked like it was from like an Instagram live, and it could have been from last year. I don't know if it was recent, right? What up, Chronic? Justice did not keep my Winslow. Yeah, Justice, the minutes there for Justice Winslow, he came through. So I'd probably be right back on the well to him tonight. Says the T-Wolves have 6 questionable. Did that just come out, or is it just like lingering? I don't see. Oh yeah, they do have 6 questionable. Jesus H.
Anthony Davis probable.
Yeah, I think AD no matter what is like I liked AD as is, especially on PrizePicks, but it sounds like they took all the Lakers numbers down. But we did the PrizePicks streams. We were well on AD numbers. Super plus matchup, and his usage has been sky high since coming back and being healthy. But Josh Hart, unlikely play. So let's get caught up on news here before we jump into this main event here, because there's certainly a lot of it. By the way, chat, if you guys want a chance to win a week pass, we're going to give away a couple of them. Celebration yesterday. Retweet that tweet in the chat. So what I did on Twitter, I got to get at least 10 retweets in order to do the giveaway. But that's how I can compensate for Streamlabs not working right now. What was I doing? Oh, I need to find Underdog. So Underdog, let's pull up Underdog from the Discord and pull up on a main slate and try and get caught up. I hate when I don't know, the NBA, like I love it at the same time, but things being so wide open right now, I don't feel like I can channel it and zone in because stuff is just moving. It's like you just feel it moving. So Levert available to make his debut. Rudy Gay got ruled out for the Jazz. D. Russ is questionable. Anthony Edwards questionable. Patrick Beverly questionable. Nas Reed questionable. Josh Okogie questionable. Taurean Prince questionable. All for the Timberwolves. All for this back-to-back away and away against the Kings. I don't know that the any of that is tied to anything other than just purely injuries. Something to keep an eye on. But here we are, Raj. A small slate as is, but so much news in the 10 p.m. stretch of games that late swap is going to have to be utilized tonight. So we've got one game at 7, a 7:30, and an 8, and then we're chilling for 2 hours. And I would say our player pool right now, based on some of those ins and outs, would look exponentially different, especially in terms of exposure rates, with more definitive news, right? Like if we knew right now that Edwards and D. Russ and Beverly were out, we know Cat and Jaden McDaniels and maybe some Malik Beasley, like all these guys would be huge core players. So it's that type of slate. Everyone's playing from the same deck of cards. So it is what it is, right? Paul Prestouch, appreciate that sub, Paul. You just might be sub number 6,400. You are 6,400 subs. Shout out to Big Paul. So right now the T-Wolves projected starting 5 is Patrick Beverly, D'Angelo Russell crossing over with Anthony Edwards, Jared Vanderbilt, and Karl Anthony Towns, the Big Cat, Ernie Ladd taking on De'Aaron Fox, Davion Mitchell, Harrison Barnes, Domantas Sabonis, maybe, we don't know, probably not. Rashad Holmes, maybe, we don't know, probably not. He's got personal issues, probably trade related. Same with Marvin Bagley, and then Sabonis. It's a lot to expect him to be ready the next night. So this Kings team, yesterday Mo Harkless got hurt. He went down. We just don't know what the F to expect at 3 p.m. Eastern or 3 p.m. Central right now. So hopefully we get more definitive news in time. But maybe that's where the edge is on these slates, man. If you got the time to grind the late swaps and keep lineups flexible, certainly could be a profitable venture. What we do know is it seems like there's nothing to suspect Cat wouldn't play tonight. Obviously, he's not involved in any trade talks. Obviously, De'Aaron Fox is untouchable for the Kings. So those are two pieces that we should feel pretty strongly about playing. And then last night, De'Aaron Fox, like I said, I swapped to him in some single entries that had Kiefer Sykes, and I thought it was going to work out for me until Giannis Antetokounmpo dropped dropped the hammer on me. But we know without Tyrese Halliburton, Fox just in and of himself, it picks up so much increased and implied usage, and then more scoring necessary without Buddy Hield as well. So just running the split of just Fox on Halliburton, Hield off. This is not considering Terrence Davis is out, and who knows who else is out for the Kings here. But Fox has a 31% usage rate, a 24.5% assist rate, and a 1.2 fantasy point per minute production rate at 8,100 on FanDuel, 7,700 on DK. I would expect that to clear 40 fantasy point projection almost every time, and the Minnesota Timberwolves matchup might actually get better without Beverly in the mix here. So I guess if you are just trying to capitalize on some of this news from this far out and expecting, it's very reasonable to suspect that all those T-Wolves names that we just read, they're not all going to play. Even if, midday questionables, I kind of lean out anyway, but I don't expect them all to be out either. So I think if you just wanted to have Cat and Fox involved, I think Fox looks pretty safe no matter what. But Cat versus Fox seems like a fun correlation that is safe so far from the news here. Rashawn Holmes was listed as out yesterday for personal reasons. Same day that they made that trade with Halliburton and Tristan Thompson, and Holmes has been kind of in a split for minutes anyway. We've seen them lean Damian Jones more. Damian Jones started yesterday, got that run for almost 30 minutes. He is so cheap on DK tonight, $3,700, 29 minutes last night. I would imagine Sabonis is now their answer. And if I don't know, I really don't know what the Kings are. Kings are dumb. I want to be respectful, but Kings are dumb.
They're terrible.
Looking at what they rolled out yesterday, they started Mo Harkless. He got injured. Immediately had to involve Chimezie Metu, started the second half in his absence. And then we saw minutes for Lewis King, Jamius Ramsey, Alex Len got involved. This could be a disaster, and this could be something that's highly unpredictable this far out. Harrison Barnes and De'Aaron Fox are probably two guys I'm expecting to be part of the mix here. And then Damian Jones, if Rashawn Holmes is out. And I feel like that personal reason, I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but I could see Rashawn Holmes being out again. I guess that's what I'm getting at. What a mess. What a mess.
I mean, just lock and load Fox. I think he's just an easy tier 1 play. I think he has a floor of 40 here, upside of 50, 55. So I mean, I think you just lock him in there. The guy like Harrison Barnes at 6,600. He's going to play the minutes past few games, 36, 49, 35. I think he has a floor in the mid 30s too, and at 6'6". He has the upside. If all these guys don't play, he could play 38 minutes to get you 40. So I like that. So I think those two guys are kind of like, the for sures. And a guy like Davion Mitchell in tournaments, if you want to take a shot at it, it's fine, but I'm not running to play it. Minnesota, you mentioned Cat, 9,700 on DK. I feel like he should be priced at 10-7 in this matchup in this spot against a shorthanded Sacramento front court here. Should be able to dominate. You give him 38 minutes, should get 50 plus, 60 bomb potential. I like it. I think a guy like D'Angelo Russell has some upside here at 7K. He just has those kind of random 40, 50 spots. And against the Sacramento team, I think it's going to be kind of a pace-up, high-scoring game. I could see him dropping you 45 fantasy points here.
So, yes, I agree with that. Russ was part of the questionable slew of information dealing with that shin injury, and he had missed some games lately. And I guess we prep for a couple of outcomes here. First of all, I thought it'd be fair to maybe tidy up the injury news. Andre, appreciate that sub, man. Welcome to the channel. So I guess with Mo Harkless, who went down yesterday, he's been ruled out. Oh, he was ruled out yesterday. I don't have him out. Do I have him out for today? Let's see. Mo Harkless. I have him questionable. It would seem like if you don't finish a game, you probably don't play the next game when you miss half the game the night before.
Yeah.
And then Marvin Bagley is listed as questionable with a sprained ankle. Rashawn Holmes was listed with personal reasons. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. All right, so I guess let's do some due diligence here and play a couple of outcomes. Let's just play with the T-Wolves big three. First of all, we expect Cat to be in. Cat was not tied to any questionable tags or anything like that. If Cat's in and Edwards and Russ are out, not even playing with everyone else, right? Tarum, Priz, Beverly, all those guys. If Cat's in and Edwards and D-Russ both miss on account of being midday Qs, Cat enjoys a 34% usage rate, 28% assist rate, 1.4 to 1.5 fantasy point per minute production. And I'm sure my already hefty 50 fantasy point projection would probably lead the slate at nearly 60. Maybe Anthony Davis is up there if LeBron and Westbrook end up missing, and maybe you just play them both, right? Kentucky. But yeah, that's something to keep in mind. And then I guess if we play one or the other, we put Ross in the mix and Edwards out. What these numbers look like. I feel like Cat's safe no matter what. Like as long as one of Russ and Edwards out, I think I'm gonna be in on Cat. Cat's still at 1.48, and then yeah, vice versa. We'll put Russ on here just for the sake of doing the research. We got time. Edwards, we get caught up on chat here. Cheyenne says, would you feel comfortable running out Ellaby and Justice in the same lineup tonight? And I think they're cheap enough to where they wouldn't like negatively correlate. Cat at 1.3. So Cat's stuff goes down a little bit more per minute without Edwards, but it's still very, very good. So there's not really a split that would get me away from Cat, but Cat with Russ over Edwards feels a little bit better. What up, Jason? Gun, what up? Just getting in today. What props you liking today? Well, Jason, we were on a bunch, and then some news hit and kind of shook things up. Early on, I was kind of digging Kobe White 3-point props over 2.5. I think I was going to stagger Levine, DeRozan stuff. We were on AD props as it was, and now that's been yanked from the board. And I would assume maybe like De'Aaron Fox real points. If De'Aaron Fox real points is under 25, I'd probably be taking it. His usage rate being what it is, and them not having the same scoring options that they had 2 games ago, and this season without Halliburton, Fox has been liable to give you closer to 30 than 20. If they haven't put a number yet, but if they put something that's closer to 20 than 30 for Fox, I'd probably be interested in the over just to get some action there. Josh Hart status is to be determined. Yeah, I mean guys like Josh Hart, Sabonis, Karis LeVert, it's all paperwork. Those guys were playing minutes. Those guys have their cardio where it needs to be. So it's nothing other than physicals and paperwork. The only thing that had me somewhat questionable about Josh Hart yesterday was he was at the Pelicans game last night wearing an Ingram jersey supporting the Pelicans. So I didn't know like when he would travel and but I guess he could be part of the plan tonight. Gotta love trade season. They took off Russ and Brunt. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Chat. Kings definitely won the trade. They get a monster Sabonis. Already got the guy in Fox. I don't think they won. I mean, won the trade I think Sabonis is an incredible addition, but it's not like I thought Marvin Bagley was bad. I think Bagley's great. Rashawn Holmes. I think Halliburton is more valuable to me than De'Aaron Fox, but I don't hate Fox. I think a lot of people end up on a Fox hate train, but Halliburton I think is better than Fox if I'm trying to rebuild. But the Kings are so hopeless to me that I just don't care. Like they've, it's not like they've been having, lack of talent. They've had the last decade, right? You look at some of the names that have gone through Sacramento, DeMarcus Cousins, right? We mentioned Bagley. Willie Cauley-Stein was kind of good for a bit. Their management is just god awful. So I just feel like that organization's somewhat hopeless, just because the people driving the car are drunk versus the talent. But hopefully Sabonis, Fox give them something that they want. But I don't know. Would you feel comfortable running out? Okay, I read that. Favorite human trade Westbrook for Cole Anthony. I don't know. I don't even know what's on the table for the Lakers, but I would imagine that GM doesn't go to sleep until the trade deadline, right? Figuratively. Josh Hart is in. Is he officially in? And is he officially on the right team in DFS sites tonight? I don't even see Josh Hart in the player pool on DK, so
I don't see Josh Hart news anywhere.
Yeah, I don't see either way. Explain. I want to know your knowledge of why you think that. Are you talking to me or somebody else in chat? If so, elaborate, because I don't remember what we were talking about. The Kings acquired the best player in that trade, so they won the trade. Oh, okay, you were talking. Yeah, I think winning trades is such a weird, I don't know, debate on every trade. I don't know. The Pacers are a whole different story themselves. I mean, that's a team where if you gave me Brogdon, obviously there's injuries here, but if you told me that you were rebuilding and your roster had Brogdon, Karis LeVert, T.J. Warren, Domantas Sabonis, and Miles Turner, I'd feel like you got a pretty good start. But they couldn't figure it out this year. I know Warren's been out, but man, I didn't think I needed to change a whole lot. So it is what it is. 2 steps forward, 2 steps backwards. We'll see. LeBron midday Q might not mean that much. They were on back-to-back and did not need to submit an injury report until afternoon. That's a good look, Mongo. I don't know. Their sense of urgency to win is pretty high. D'Lo, Towns' best friend. How do you feel about Mitchell against Golden State? So that's a great question. I guess we should talk about that game. Westbrook just got okay. J. Cole, relax. Fox is a high volume scorer, albeit he plays his butt off. The guys are a dime a dozen plus contract. I think Halliburton has shown flashes of being a better pure point guard while being a good scorer, and that 2-for-1 special is pretty valuable. And again, like I think so many people are ending up trashing Fox when they discuss about, it just felt like Tyrese Halliburton was the rebuild piece. Like that's the guy that has to be untouchable. And that's why it's mind blowing. Like it felt like Fox was the guy, or Fox was the guy more likely to be traded. But yikes, we need the 4:30 p.m. official injury report. That would be nice, man. Wouldn't it be nice if NBA had like NFL rules where they gave us inactives and actives 90 minutes before? They're supposed to have integrity or whatever that they were supposed to do, but it's just so impossible to enforce. Pacers have dropped the ball more than the Kings, weaker than the Eastern. Yeah. I don't think that's crazy, J. Cole. It just felt like the Pacers had talent, so I don't know how it fails that miserably, What do you think about Kuminga for Warriors?
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into that game. Before we do that, I'm going to take a pause for the cause. 2 things. One, if you follow me on Twitter, even if you don't have to follow me. I wanted to do a week pass giveaway. Yesterday, we broke a couple records, Raj. I'm not saying it's a me thing or it's a you thing, but yesterday we hit 327 concurrent viewers. That was a record for this season. And we also hit 189 likes on the live stream. It broke 200 after it was, in the dust settled. But this is the live goodness. 327 concurrent, 189 likes. So as a way to celebrate, I wanted to give away a couple week passes at rundfs.com. But today, Streamlabs is going through it. They're not showing the chat on the screen, and they it's not cooperating with me on the raffle. So I have to, I guess, do a Twitter giveaway. So if you guys are on Twitter and you want a chance to win a week pass, retweet that tweet that's in chat, and you'll be entered into the drawing, and I'll do it automated on the screen. And then, hey, maybe we'll break more records. We'll keep celebrating. We did just hit 6,400 subscribers, and now we're at 6,404. So, I mean, we're thumbing our way towards 7K. So that would be a good milestone. And what we're giving away here is week passes to rundfs.com. If you guys aren't familiar with rundfs.com, that is the mothership, man. I spearhead the NBA, NFL, and baseball content. And every day before lock, I'm in the voice chat chopping it up. It's not a radio show. It's not another stream that you're listening in on. I encourage you guys to be part of the conversation, grab mics, and network, man. It's a fun thing every day. And then we get to laugh at Raj, and every now and then grenade MJ.
Or
LeBron.
I was just right about O'Shea Brissett the other day, and these two fish and gun just can't take their L.
No.
Oh, he's not playing more than 12 minutes. Played goddamn 28 minutes. Got you close to 30 fantasy points.
No, that's not okay.
ODL.
It's crazy that's how you remembered that going down, because that's not what happened. You were like, O'Shea Brissett is the lock of the century. I was like, I don't know about the lock. That seems like a stretch. Yeah, I mean, he ended up he was a good play. He was a better play than effing Kiefer Sykes. Kiefer Sykes like the only guy on that team that wasn't a good play. But anyway, if you guys want to be part of that, a membership will get you into the spreadsheet, into the Discord, and then you also get a credit towards Fantasy Cruncher, so it's pretty good. Unlock my projections, my player pool, the prop detector, my player pool for DK for Fanduel. It's a lot of fun, right? So main event tonight, Golden State Warriors, Utah Jazz. It's not really the main event. There's 3 games at 10 p.m. I guess this late slate might be worth taking some darts at based on how fluid this news might get. Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, Otto Porter, Kevin Looney taking on Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, and Udoka Azubuike. 224.5 total, 2-point spread in favor of the home team, Utah Jazz. Looney had a Q tag on him. Bielisa, Draymond Green, Iguodala, and Klay Thompson listed as out. Let me see if I can get an update on Mr. Looney. Yes, sir, Mr. McMahon. I guess if there was a world where he was out, you might have to think about Juan Toscano. Looney questionable with a left quad contusion. He says he suffered the injury during Monday's win over the Thunder as he was kneed in the quad while setting a screen. The veteran is essentially Golden State's only available centers. Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, if he can't go, you might get some JTA at the 5 where they go ultra small. Maybe Kuminga in the mix as well. So, something to keep an eye on. But what we do know is there's no Klay Thompson, no Draymond Green. So, we should push the usage towards Steph Curry. I got him for about 50 fantasy points. His price is getting reasonable for this split. Sure, it's an uphill matchup against Utah. In Utah is a tougher spot to be at. But points per dollar and just for all points on a slate like this, if he has a shot at 50 plus, he has a shot to be, a top scorer on the slate. I think AD is going to overproject now. I think Karl-Anthony Towns is going to overproject it based on how that news shapes out. But if LeBron is in, if everyone's in, Steph Curry has a real shot to be a top 4, top 5 fantasy scorer on the slate. So because of that, he's got to be in the pool and hope standard deviation goes your way. On the Utah Jazz side, we just got Rudy Gay out, and Rudy Gobert is already out. A couple of trade pieces in the works there, so I don't think it's going to be any different than what we're looking at. I'm going to take these 15 minutes away from Rudy Gay. Why did I keep saying Gobert? And then maybe we stretch a few more minutes for the starters and lean on Clarkson a little bit. Donovan Mitchell, I think, is the guy I'm most intrigued with on the Jazz here to pick up the bulk of the scoring, likely leads the team in shot attempts. He's averaging 25 real points per game, and then past that, not running to much. I think Bojan has a place in the player pool, but it'll probably be tier 3. And then Andrew Wiggins on the other side in the absence of Klay, Draymond, and Iggy. All right, he should get well over 30 minutes at 6'7", 6,300. I'm looking for north side 30 fantasy points, kind of spin that in there and move on from there. I think this game has a decent total to attack. Might be some obvious in hindsight plays, but obviously we're going to feel like there's a lot of opportunity in the way some news might settle in some of these aforementioned games that, this game could just be pretty average and just play to the projection and play towards the price point. And if we just look at price point and projection, I'm not getting egregious numbers on anything specifically, right? 50 for Steph is about what I would expect at that price point. And then on Donovan Mitchell, I'm getting mid-40s. I'd probably take the mid-40 there. It's probably the best points per dollar, raw points, all that balancing. But there's not like a tier 1, potentially not a tier 2 in this game for me. Do you think otherwise, chat? Do you think otherwise? Raj, what are you doing with the Warriors? And the chat's back. What the freak? I don't know what's going on. All right, Raj, what do you got on this game?
Jordan Poole, 5,800, no Klay Thompson. I think he's going to see a bump here. Utah Jazz, no Rudy Gobert, so it's actually a defense that you don't mind attacking. So I don't mind him at 5,800. You mentioned Steph Curry. I haven't been playing a lot of Curry, just kind of this past couple weeks, and I think he's had one game where it's really kind of broken the slate, and you needed him. So again, in this spot, how much Curry am I really going to get to as a stud? I 10-3. Before I say this, I think Cat over Curry just straight up.
Yeah, I don't think that's a hot take. I think
okay. Because Curry's just obviously better player, sure. And Davis, if LeBron and them get ruled out, him over Curry for sure. DeRozan's at 9-6. I think in that game environment, you're gonna like guys like DeRozan, Vooch more. Probably not Vooch, but DeRozan more. you really like LaMelo, who's 8'8", so it's a little cheaper. It's fine. So yeah, so I think he's viable, but definitely not a lock and load. On the Utah side, I really like Donovan Mitchell at 8,600. I think 30 real life points is very viable here. And if you get you some assists and rebounds, a 55 point spot, I don't hate it. 58 against the Knicks last game. I expect a similar performance against the Warriors here at 8,600. Seems like a cheap price tag for Donovan Mitchell. So I really like him too.
Man, I thought since the chat was back that the giveaway would be working, but it's not. So I guess we're gonna stick with the Twitter giveaway chat. I'm sorry, I it's out of my control. I can't fix it. I'm trying. What are you gonna do? Yeah, I'm with you. Nothing here is a tier 1 for me. Probably perhaps not a tier 2. Getting caught up on more news here. This is a big news slate for a short slate. Marvin Bagley's listed as questionable. Rashawn Holmes not on the injury report. Technically, he wasn't really there yesterday. He was out for personal. But I guess because he's not on the injury report, on a back-to-back, we'd probably expect Rashawn Holmes to be the projected starter and to play unless he gets moved before that game. Bagley being questionable. Mo Harkless listed as doubtful. It's a nightmare, man. That game, bro. That whole game is oh Jesus. So that's what we're dealing with. Keeping you guys up on that. Chat.
That's one of those places where you got to follow the news to lock on every game.
Yeah, luckily I think the deadline is before lock tomorrow. It usually is in the afternoon, so that should settle the dust quite a bit. But tonight being 0 hour, right? The
makes sense. One day of the year, the day before the trade deadline. I mean, it happens in every sport
for sure. It is what it is, right? So Chad, I guess we're sticking with the retweeting this as the as the week pass giveaway. Wait. Apparently I just what?
You started a poll.
Oh my gosh, man.
I clicked yes for Justin.
This chat. I mean this day is just I accidentally started a poll, Raj.
Start a poll.
But there's no question to the poll. It's just yes or no.
One of those days.
Chat, yes or no. I love how like 21% of you guys have said no. They don't even know what it is. Oh my gosh. Gotta love it. All right, let's get caught up on underdog here. Chat, you got any questions, comments, concerns? We'll revisit maybe some PrizePicks looks. If you guys are or aren't on PrizePicks, be sure to check them out. Use promo code GUNDACKER. They'll get you your first deposit doubled up to $100. No slow drip. Get it instantly. We've been crushing it. It's so much fun. A lot of you guys have openly said that you kind of prefer to the DFS grind. Some of you guys making that transition, and a lot of you guys are just using it as a way to diversify your daily spend and reward that individual research that you're already doing. Yesterday, so many screenshots came my way. A lot of you guys tweeted at me. I appreciate that. If you guys crush it on anything, tweet at me, man. I want to see you be great. Your greatness makes me happy because it lets me know that what we're doing here isn't for nothing. So since we caught up on the Bledsoe rolled out news, Rashawn Holmes not on the injury report, Bradley. All right, so nothing new. 61% of y'all are killing me, man. 41% of you guys say no.
No yep. What?
I nothing. That's the thing. It's just yes or no. Yes or no. Yes or no. I'm so dead. Where are we at on likes? 82 likes, man. Show some love, Jack. Get those likes up. Break 100. Why not? Jack says, bunch of yes men we are. Elvis says, I thought I saw Pokusevski was available. Now I'm not seeing. So Pokusevski probably would be if they release Diakite. Paku played a couple games back and then he got sent to the G League. I would I'd assume that he's going to be active. It says he was recalled, and this is from a blurb yesterday. Bless you. So I would assume he would be available in his last game of action against the Kings. He played 26 minutes. So if you guys didn't catch it, they released Diakite. And looking at their listed outs and inactives, that front court is very thin. All things considered, JRE out, Isaiah Roby out, Mike Muscala out, Diakite not on the team. So it could be Derek Favors, it could be Pokusevski. Maybe Baisley can play some 5, and they stretch out, I don't even know, Kenrich Williams. So becomes a pretty short-staffed Thunder team. Has there been any significant line movement on anything since some of this news has come out? 62% of you guys say yes. All right, Cleveland's 5.5. Chicago's 1.5. So we've seen that go from 2 to 1.5. Opened up as a pick'em. 10-point spread still for Toronto. 8 points on Minnesota. Lakers 7.5. That was at 9. I had it at 9.5 earlier. So maybe Westbrook and LeBron not being for sure is worth 2 points. And then Utah still favored by 2 here. So no staggering movement here, but a lot to keep tabs on. A lot. Nova says, question, is Raj broken more than Streamlabs?
Broken.
I don't know. Willie says Vanderbilt's a good play for Minnesota. Yeah, Willie, I think if the news goes the right way and Minnesota opens up that front court, we mentioned Taron Prince could be out. Taron Prince has been playing like 24 minutes and consistently in a lot of games lately. If Naz Reid is out, certainly looks like Vanderbilt could be in line for a decent chunk of minutes. So I don't think that's a crazy call, especially against a team like the Sacramento Kings that are so porous defensively to the front court. So I don't think that's a crazy call. Good stuff. Liking some Levine over DeRozan tonight. Am I delusional? I think points per dollar on Fanduel, that 2K price point, makes me lean to more Levine than DeRozan. 2.5K on Fanduel. But from a matchup standpoint, I definitely think there's a range of outcomes where Levine in an up-pace matchup, you could pop off here. I like them both pretty well, and I think the minutes are going to be so high that I'm just going to fall into a ton of the Bulls here. You mentioned no Lonzo, no Caruso, no Dosunmu, who has been a big chunk of that backcourt rotation lately. And I think Levine also just might pick up more ball handling responsibilities, but so might DeRozan. DeRozan's not immune to facilitating himself, Chat says yes. I don't know what we're voting for. I feel like I should close this vote, but I also just think it's funny to see what you guys vote for. What does Indiana need with Tristan Thompson? I don't know. So remember, a lot of pieces that get moved on these trades, there's a decent chunk that end up just getting bought out and released into the wild. And I don't know if Tristan Thompson's one of those guys, but he could be. But he also, he wasn't really that involved in Sacramento, right? What up, Carlos? What up, Spen? Ooh.
Buddy Hield is coming to the Lakers.
I don't think that's happening.
THT in a second-round pick. I think Indiana said they want to move him.
Oh, are you making that up, or is that?
No, it's actual report. No, like Indiana wants to move Buddy Hield.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't not believe that, but
yeah.
Is THT and Buddy Hield not the same player?
Is THT a little
like, are they
younger?
that difference?
I know what you mean. Yeah, they're not. It's not like I think THT may be younger. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. What else we got? Voting yes for Valentine's puppy. All right, let me close this out. The yes is going back up. I don't even know what we're voting. Yes or no? God dang it. Well, 66% of you guys said yes. All right, so that poll was actually, should I cancel this YouTube channel? You guys said yes. So we are done.
That poll is on Valentine's Day.
All right, tomorrow should be regular. 6405. So yeah, we're getting there. NBA schedule. What is the trade deadline day for NBA looking like on Thursday? We got 2, 4, 6, 7 games tomorrow. A lot of early games too. There's only 2 games at 9. Everything else is within the first 90 minutes. Grizzlies at the Pistons, Heat at the Pelicans, Nets, Wizards, Raptors, Rockets, Nets, Wizards on the road. Could you get Kyrie without James Harden up against Spencer Dinwiddie?
Best team could use him.
Yeah, heck, Dinwiddie might get moved. Raptors at the Rockets, so Raptors are on night 1 of a back-to-back. Both these games should be pretty winnable. Clippers at the Mavs. Bucks at the Suns. What a road stretch there for the Bucks. And then the Knicks and Warriors. So Warriors night 1 of a back-to-back tonight against Utah. So something to keep in mind. Yeah. Not sure we want Tristan Thompson released into the wild. Yeah, Smelzer, you're probably right. There'd be a lot of pregnant Kardashians running around. I don't know.
It's not like he's playing basketball anymore, so he might just pull a Nick Cannon and have a bunch of babies with a lot of
Jordan. Oh my goodness. Stanley and Winslow just let you get wherever you want. Yeah, I think Winslow's going to be chalk by default, but lots of news to watch tonight, chat. So I'm going to be in the rundfs.com VIP Discord, counting down the minutes to lock. Hopefully, getting news at an appropriate time. 3 games on the late docket here. A lot of those games are pretty news intense. So hopefully we have.
Darius Garland just got ruled in.
So I probably don't get to Levert then.
Yeah, definitely no Levert. I think Garland's interesting. I mean, do you think Levert plays a full first game with the team?
Yeah, I'm not worried about
35?
Levert. I'm not worried about his minutes, but Garland at 8K, I can still get 40 plus. I think I'd be more so looking at his assist props, see what they put him at, because they space the floor with.
Yeah, you know what? DFS wise, that might just kill everyone.
It might, but I might take some Garland assist action. Where's Willie? Sorry, Willie, you can't play Rondo.
Yeah,
don't play Rondo today. Raj, you gonna be back tomorrow to gossip about all the trades that did or did not happen.
Friday. I can't Friday. Tomorrow, gotta check.
It's okay if you can't. I'm just putting you on the spot.
Yeah, it's one of those weeks. It's just one of those weeks.
Yeah. All right, chat. We're gonna roll out of here. You guys go catch that live before lock. And if you guys are headed to the Discord, I'll be there in about 15 minutes. I'm hungry. Hopefully, I'll find some grub. I appreciate you guys spending part of your day watching part of my day, man. We're back at it tomorrow. I love you guys. Crush it tonight. Tag me, and I can't wait for LaMelo Ball to outscore Miles Bridges so I can get this $50 on Raj. I can get dinner on Raj. Yes, sir. Yeah. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.